Back, everybody, to another live hangout here on a Monday night, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? Sorry if you can still hear. Eventually, my voice will probably go back to normal here in the next couple days, but welcome, everybody, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. Sorry I couldn't catch you guys on Friday. I was not doing well. Still wasn't even doing well up until yesterday. Kind of woke up still, you know, all the phlegm in the world. Um, but this morning, still kind of not feeling great. But I was like, you know what? We're good. We're good. We're getting there. Took some pills. Took some good pills to get here, so I can go live. And yeah, man, we're gonna make it through. So we're doing a live stream tonight, and then we will be doing our weekly Friday hangout still this week. So we got two live streams happening this week. And to be honest with you, leading up to the draft, I might just continue to do that, man. I might just do two every week, one on Monday, one on Friday, to kind of bookend the week. So yeah, man. David, first, always first. David, man, what's up, brother? How you doing? How you doing? Let me see here. Let's go. All right, man. Trying to see here where we at here. So, speaking of NFL news, and we're just gonna get into it, man. We're just gonna get into it. It's been a couple. It's been like a week and a half since we went live talking about some football. Luckily, obviously, always the weeks or two leading up to the draft are kind of slow. No massive news, no major trades really, but there is a little bit of news. Starting with the Giants, man. As of a few hours ago, um, Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle, has requested a trade from New York, man. So, not too surprising. The last season or two, we've seen Dexter's unhappiness with the way that the defense has performed, the way the organization has been kind of going. And he's a guy that's, starting to get a little bit older, especially defensive guys. They don't always have the longevity of some offensive weapons, quarterbacks, offensive linemen. And I guarantee you, man, he wants to play for a winner. And I think the Giants are still a few seasons away from competing for not only being a every year potential playoff contender, but let alone a Super Bowl contender. So, and I think he doesn't want to wait that long. I think he wants to try to go to a team, see if he can win within the next couple seasons. But yeah, as of right now, it's a strange time to request a trade. But I'm trying to see here. Yeah, second team All Pro back in 2019. It was drafted 17th overall, 30 career sacks, and he's 28 years old right now. So yeah, I guarantee you there would be a few teams that would be looking to trade for Dexter Lawrence. I want to see what his last couple seasons have looked like statistically. So so he was drafted in 2019, played all 16 games, 2.5 sacks. He's a little bit of a nose tackle, so he's not going to be racking up massive double-digit sack seasons. That's not his game. He's an interior defensive lineman. He's supposed to be there, kind of disrupt the run, eat up as much space, and maybe every once in a while try to collapse a pocket during the passing game. But his best season by far was 2022. Career high 68 combined tackles, 35 of them alone, 7.5 sacks. That is actually his second highest career sack total in a single season. Let me see here. 7 tackles for a loss that year in 2022. 28 quarterback hits, career high. Got his hands on 3 pass deflections. I think that's about it. His career high in sacks is 9. He hit that in 2024. And he does have the one interception that he picked up this past season. So, you know, combined over 300 tackles, a little over 30 sacks, and has a little over 100 quarterback hits, 40 tackles for a loss throughout his career. He's only made the playoffs one time back in 2022. I think that was Brian Dable's first season with the Giants there, first or second. Um, but yeah, man, still 28 years old. I'm not gonna lie, as a nose tackle, I know the Packers don't have a whole lot of capital to trade for a guy like this, but if the Giants are willing to take a fourth or a fifth, I'm okay with the Packers trading for him. That would basically seal up the interior of that defensive line for the Packers between him, Hargrave, and the cast of other players that they have at that position. I don't think they would need to address it in the draft. The issue is what's Dexter's contract looking like. I'll look that up later, but you know, maybe if he's that disgruntled, just saying. Nickname Sexy Dexy. I mean, you guys already know how much we love nicknames on this channel, man. If you have a great nickname for any player, you put it in the chat, man, and we will probably adopt it. So this man already comes with his own nickname, Sexy Dexy. You know what? Give him a fourth and a seventh round draft pick. I'll take it. I'll take him. Haha, Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade is hilarious. Yeah, man. Yeah, this just the timing of it doesn't seem like it's a true request of a trade. I feel like this is more of like maybe a contract thing. I do want to see his contracts situation here. But David, what's going on, brother? How you doing? How you doing? Let me see your contract. So he's got 2 years left on his deal. It was a 4-year, 87/$90 million contract extension in 2023. So this just might be probably more of a contract thing. It's not uncommon for teams to kind of redo or extend the contract even if there's an extra year or two left. So yeah, the Giants do have him through 2027. So they wouldn't lose him after this year. It wouldn't be until after the 2027 NFL season. So yeah, so I'm trying to think here. So his base salary is 18.5 million. His cap hit, which is probably the thing that is would probably keep him from like teams like the Packers trading for him. His cap hit is nearly $27 million in 2026. And on top of that, this is the big reason for the trade request, I believe. There is zero guaranteed money left on that contract. Zero. So the Giants could cut him at any point, and they would not owe him a dime. So this is probably why Dexter is requesting a trade. Trying to go to a team where he can rework a new deal, or trying to force the Giants into reworking a new deal with some more guaranteed money. So, gotcha. All right. See, when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to look into this, but we'll do it during the live stream. That's the way we can talk about something. Eben! Yo, yo, yo! What's going on, dude? What's up? What's up? How you doing, my dude? How was your spring break, my man? I'm okay. Hope you get to feeling better soon. Thank you, man. Thank you. I don't know if you guys can tell by my voice a little bit. I don't know if it's sounding like what it's sounding like on live. So hopefully I'll be getting a little bit better here in the next couple weeks. So yeah, Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade, but it is probably more of a contractual thing here because there is zero guaranteed money left in that contract that he signed. Doing great. Gonna visit Detroit tomorrow. Hey, let's go, baby. Ooh. So what are we doing in Detroit, man? Gonna see the sights. Going to a stadium. What's going on? Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, the off-season workout program for the Giants starts tomorrow, and it's been Dexter Lawrence has declared that he will not be participating in those off-season workouts. Going to the aquarium, they have a small Legoland. Oh, there we go. Heck yeah, dude. So my family will be doing that. I'm excited. Heck yeah, dude. I've never been to a Legoland thing, but my nephews have been there, man, and they say it's awesome. So that's pretty cool, man. Heck yeah. So at like Legoland, I'm assuming are there like rides, are there like activities, and I'm assuming there's options or there's opportunity to buy Legos, right? I'm assuming that's a big part of it. I've been excited about sending humans back around the moon. Oh heck yeah, dude! The shuttle that was last week. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I think the NASA. I think I saw some pictures from NASA, and it was pretty cool, man. It's really fun. Yeah, because they're gonna be doing like a little bit of a loop around the far side of the moon, right, and then coming back, right. That's the mission. They go kind of do a little bit of a orbit, maybe not an orbit, but like a little loop around the moon, and then come back. And I'm assuming that that is like to show that one, it is capable of being done, but also the next step after that would be to land on the moon. I don't know if that's their their plan for the next mission or the next couple missions. Honestly, no clue. All I know is that it is Lego themed. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm trying to think here. I didn't really have Legos as a kid. I'm trying to think, what did I have? I was mostly like a car, like a little, not necessarily Hot Wheels, but like match car kind of stuff like that. I just like any kind of cars, man. Like I liked. I think my one favorite car growing up as like a kid, like a little fake one was like a it was like a red and white. It was like one of those old style 40s and 50s cars. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but I'll try to bring it up here. But really iconic car, man. It was one of my favorite toys. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah. All right, let me see here. David, yeah, they completed the backside part of the moon. I told my friend Gary Artemis 2 lost contact with Earth while they orbit around the backside of Gary's. Come on, man. What did Gary's mom do? Come on, she is a nice lady. Great casserole, man. Great casserole. Underrated, underappreciated. All right, unbelievable. Shout out to Gary's mom. All right, she didn't deserve that. I still have Lego, a whole city with a Saturn V rocket. Dang, okay, man. All right, all right. David flexing on us a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I ever had Legos as a kid. I don't know. Like I know they're insanely expensive now. I have no idea how what the price was back then. I don't know if they were just as pricey comparatively. So I don't know. Neat. I'm not much of a Lego collector. That's fair. That's fair. Do you collect anything, even like baseball cards, football cards, anything like that? There it is. I do, however, love books. There we go. Hey, always good. We have a bunch of history books. I enjoy reading. My friends about me. An 800-page autobiography of Theodore. Oh, Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, nice, nice, nice. I have yet to start reading, but I'm very excited. Heck yeah, dude! Theodore Roosevelt, man, one of the by far one of the biggest turn of the century. I would say, not I don't want to say politicians, but just figures, man. Incredible. Teddy, can't go wrong with Teddy. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I have. Do I have it here? Let's see if I can bring it up. Sorry, I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. I have like probably the it's like a comprehensive autobiography, not autobiography, but just uh, basically any speech, any writings of Frederick Douglass. He was an abolitionist during during basically the 19th century. Uh, one of my one of my all time favorite historical figures. Like if he is one of those like people that like if you had if you could talk to three people, five people, in history or whatever, like he would be one of my number ones, man. I very much enjoy reading of about Frederick Douglass. Whoops, hey, it's okay. It's okay. We'll blame it on autocorrect. We'll blame it on autocorrect. For a second there, I was reading it as Ramondre. I was like, Ramondre Stevens, the running back for the Patriots. I was like, all right, hey. Fun fact about Teddy: he was shot during a speech, but refused to go to the hospital. He just kept talking. Dang right. There was I don't know who said it. I think it was either one of his friends or somebody that like was relatively like close to him. When Roosevelt died, he died in his sleep. I think it was a heart attack or a stroke. The person said death had to come for him while he was sleeping because if he did it and he was awake, there would have been a fight. So, yeah, man, Teddy is he's a very interesting figure, and like when you look at his work, his impact on both of the parties that we see now, there is definitely influences that were taken from him, even though his party never really didn't last long. The Moose and Bull party didn't last a whole lot, but I feel like the Democrats and the Republicans of the time were able to kind of took inspiration from some of his ideas. Some of the environmental conservatism was taken, and as well as his idea of kind of like a personal sovereignty of the individual was also taken from that. So anyway, he's my number one for historical figures to talk about. Heck yeah, dude, let's go. Yeah, I know I have the book somewhere, but I'll find it some other stream. But yeah, it's one of my favorite books, man. Frederick Douglass. If you don't get if you get a chance, read his autobiography. There's contention of whether he wrote it. I think that he basically said he did get help writing it at the time, just to allow the publishing to be a little bit easier to do at the time, especially. But yeah, man, it's one of those. It's relatively short as well. The autobiography of Frederick Douglass. But yeah, he was born into slavery and was able to escape. And that's kind of where the part of the autobiography where it gets a little muddled because he didn't write how he escaped to try to avoid kind of didn't want to give the blueprint to people that could try to stop future escapes from other enslaved people. So he tried to keep that as vague as possible. So, but yeah. Anyway, what's on the cheese head? Oh, you talking about this? Right. Boop boop boop. That is the mouthpiece that I was able to pick up from when I went to Camp Randall Stadium, the home of the Wisconsin Badgers. Um, yeah, that was the game. That was my first college football game that I went to. It was Wisconsin versus Illinois, the Fighting Illini. And after the game, because the Badgers sucked, it was one of their I think only 3 wins that season. We were able to storm. Well, I shouldn't say we were able. The fans stormed the field, and so did I. And this was what I found on the ground. I don't think it was used because there's like no teeth marks, and I didn't see any saliva on it. So luckily I didn't get any germs on me. But I was like, I'm taking this. So yeah. So yeah, it's just a player's mouthpiece. Yeah, there was like another thing. There's another thing that luckily I was able to pick this up without anybody noticing. And then like I think it was a couple minutes later I found something else on the ground. I think it was like maybe like a sweatband or whatever, and I was gonna pick that up. But then a police officer or a security guard was like came up right behind me, dude. He freaking freaked me out, and like he was like, "So what do you got there?" I was like, "Well, hey." I was like, "Oh, it's just this." He's like, "Yeah, you can give that to me." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I gave it to him, and I thought he was gonna like give it to somebody on the team or something like that. No, he just threw it away. I was like, "Come on, man." I was like, "If you're gonna throw it away, why don't you just let me keep it?" But it is what it is. Cool, nice momentum. Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. All right, what else here? All right, so another little piece of news here: Rashid Rice has not engaged in conduct that violates the personal conduct policy. So a couple weeks ago, there was Rashid Rice was facing potential discipline for abuse allegations that with his former girlfriend. But apparently, the NFL did its own investigation and found that Rashid Rice was not in violation of um, any misconduct. And so apparently, at least for the NFL, that that chapter has been closed, and Rashid Rice will not face any discipline from the NFL. So that's another little bit of news. Some good news for Chiefs fans there. I don't know how you take that or not, but yeah, I don't know if there's going to be like another like investigation or ongoing investigation outside of the NFL, but at least when it comes to the NFL, nothing, no wrongdoing apparently. We have investigated one of our more in, more exciting players, and we have found that one of our more exciting players has not done anything wrong, and he can continue to be exciting and make us money. Yeah, it's always been a thing, man. The NFL investigating itself, no independent analysis, nothing. Always interesting. Almost like the government in that way. Sorry, I feel like I just threw like a little bit of a threw a little grenade into a glass door right there with that last little comment. Oh my god, I almost made a post about this, but I was like, dude, I was still full on blanket next to a bottle of Dayquil, and I was like, it's not worth it. But yeah, man, Kirko 2 Chains going to Las Vegas. All right, we're gonna be seeing Kirk Cousins at the craps table in Vegas there. But yeah, they're gonna have a nice little backup there to kind of mentor Mendoza when he gets there. So that's a little bit of news there for the Raiders. Oh yeah, before I forget, if you get a chance, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Helps out the video, helps out the channel a ton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, David, I literally just saw your comment. Artemis 2 is in radio blackout as they travel around the backside of the moon. Insert large mom joke here. Beautiful. Beautiful. So song. I hope he throws 29, 29 interceptions and takes 18 sacks and still manages to get the Raiders to 6 wins so they don't have a great pick. There we go. David Stegosaurus, as always, and I mean this as a compliment, sir, with beautiful, accurate, cutting pettiness. Unbelievable. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, speaking of the moon, this is something that I found out like I think it was 20, what was it, like 2017, 2018. I don't think that I was ever taught this in class, but did you know that there was a speech that was written and delivered to the president that when they first were landing on the moon, Neil Armstrong, when they first got there, there was a chance that they were not going to be able to get back up to the module to get back home, and if that happened, they were going to announce it through the president, and he had a speech made up that basically saying like the astronauts made an incredible sacrifice, and like yeah, basically like it was like a yeah they're there, and we don't have a way to get them back. Basically, I did not know that. I didn't know that was like a speech that was written out. And yeah, that was a little interesting fact that I learned a couple of years ago. It's a very beautiful speech. It's very, very haunting, very obviously like sad, but also kind of well written. Whoever did that one. And if you haven't read it or gotten a chance to look at it, I definitely recommend you do. It's an interesting like idea of like wow, history could have gone a very different route. When you think of the moon landing, you think of inspiration. You think of how far humanity has gone. And just imagine if that was juxtaposed with the ability not to get those guys back. Crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's a Monday night hangout. We are completely off the rails already. We're talking about space. We're talking about moms, and we're writing a dash of football in there as well. Don't worry. If you're just joining us, there will be more football talk. I promise. I promise. All right. Yeah, Kirk 2 Chains. I think that's a good pickup, man. Kirk looked a lot better this season. I was a little worried after 2024. He did not look good, man. It was a rough season for Kirk, but obviously was coming off of that Achilles injury that he sustained in his final season in Minnesota. And then in 2025, man, he took a step forward. He looked. I don't want to say he looked like the Kirk of his time in Minnesota, or even in his early years or his last couple of years with Washington. I think you can definitely see a guy that he is well past his prime. He's not going to be able to consistently get you 300 yards. Put up multiple touchdowns. He's not going to be a guy that can lead you to the playoffs. But I think he's a really good backup. I think he still has a few more years that he can kind of provide maybe some mentorship. Hopefully, he takes that as a responsibility, which Kirk seems like he has in his time with Atlanta. Even after they signed him to a $100 million deal and they immediately basically replaced him, like a couple weeks later with Michael Penix. That was freaking master planning by the Atlanta Falcons. Masterful planning right there. Um, but yeah, I think hopefully he's able to kind of coach up or kind of support Mendoza in his first year, because I think it's gonna be a little bit of a shock for Mendoza, man. The Raiders are not in great shape. I think defensively they looked a little bit better, especially in that secondary, than what we've seen in the past. But offensively, man, they were very rough to look at. Obviously, part of that was Geno Smith having probably the worst season I've seen out of him in a long time. But on top of that, man, they just seemed very. They seemed so disorganized, man. And I think we saw two or three games of the Raiders this past season, and it was not pretty, man. It was tough to watch, really, really tough to watch. But they got some good weapons, man. They got Bowers at tight end. They got their running back that they spent obviously a top pick last year, who kind of disappointed, but started to get better as the season went on. I think the expectations were a little bit too high for him trying to basically many people thought he was going to be able to transform that entire team. I think that's a little bit too much to ask for a rookie running back, but I don't know. I think I remember learning about that prepared speech if astronauts didn't survive. Yeah, man. It's wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah, what's it called? This was to yeah, the speech was from Bill Sapphire, which I don't think he was the one that wrote it, but he's the one that sent it. It was sent on July 18th, 1969. And I'll give you the first sentence, and it says, in an event of a moon disaster. The first sentence is, fate has ordained that the men who went to the moon to explore in peace will stay on the moon to rest in peace. I was like, oh, Jesus. Ooh. Yeah, very good. Very, very good speech. Definitely recommend it if you get a chance. All right. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore a couple days ago retired from the NFL. Man, he was a two-time All-Pro, one Defensive Player of the Year back in 2019. I think he was the last cornerback up until corner from Denver. But he was basically the last secondary player to win that award up until 2024. And there was talks, man. There was talks of like, is there a corner that's ever gonna win that award again? Thankfully, somebody else did. But yeah, man, it's But yeah, man, I remember Gilmore, man. His time in New England, he was he was never known as an incredible tackler, man. But his coverage, man, his coverage was impressive. Only 35 years old. He was a first round pick by the Buffalo Bills. Played there for 5 years before leaving for the Patriots back in 2017. He was able to win a Super Bowl back in 2018. Yeah, didn't have a whole lot of interceptions, at least in terms of his the length of his career. He played 13 seasons, 32 interceptions, but yeah, man, 5-time Pro Bowler. Let me see here. Yeah, he spent the last couple seasons playing for Minnesota, where he was pretty solid, man. I think this year he actually played better than he did the previous season. So I was a little bit surprised to see that he retired. I think he still had one more year in him, but I mean, you already got the ring. You won arguably the highest single individual award that you can get as a defensive player, and that is the Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, you're likely not going to be winning MVPs. All Pro, one of the best in the 2010s, I should say. I'm like, yeah, I mean, all the accolades that you could accomplish as an individual player and as a part of a team, Stefan's got. So I don't think he's got much more to prove. And it's a pretty decent career, man. 13 NFL seasons. So congratulations to Stephon Gilmore. Also seems like a decent dude. Didn't do anything stupid off the field, which is apparently a harder thing to do than what you might think. So adios to Stephon Gilmore, man. Hopefully you have a great retirement, my man. All right. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this stream here. The last 15 minutes or so, I want to talk about NFL draft. And on Friday, we will actually be. I'm going to try to see if I can do a mock draft, a live mock draft with you guys, and we'll be kind of going. We'll be going through it, man. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna be letting. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna have you guys pick one if you guys want to be part of it, and we'll kind of go from there. That'll be on Friday. But today, I wanted to show you what my mock draft looked like, at least the first round. I won't go through every single one, but I do want to talk about the top 10 because I feel like once you get past the top two, I feel like there is a discussion to be had. And to be honest with you, I think even number 2 is the one I'm most interested in because the Jets are not in a great position. One, there isn't a great quarterback after Mendoza. Like, I think the next quarterback is somewhere in the 20s or 30s potentially. Mendoza might be the only quarterback taken in the first round. That's very possible. And after that, it kind of depends, man. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of movement once you get past the top 5, top 7. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of movement. Some teams are moving up, some teams are moving down. So, but yeah, kind of go from there. All right. So let's bring up my mock draft. So these are the things that I kind of went through. These are the players that I picked for these teams. Um, yeah. So let's just start at the top, man. Like I said, we're gonna go through the first 10, and then if I see some other ones kind of that kind of catch my eye, I'll talk about them. Otherwise, we'll discuss them a little bit more on Friday once we kind of do our own mock draft. So yeah. So starting at the top here with Fernando Mendoza. I think this is as about of easy and consensus top pick as you're gonna get. I don't think there's much of a question that he's gonna be the first player taken. Is he arguably the best player? Maybe not. I think and if it wasn't a quarterback, he would probably be in the top 3 still. But the Raiders need a franchise quarterback. They need a direction. They need somebody that is going to be hopefully able to point them north. And Mendoza is that guy. He is the best quarterback in this draft without question. He is a winner. He just is coming off arguably one of the most historic seasons, not only for his program but for an individual player. And dude, this guy, and I've said it before, the guy is just a damn winner. Like that championship game was an impressive. It wasn't an incredible like display of quarterback play, but damn, dude, this kid has guts. And I think the Raiders could do significantly worse than Mendoza. So obviously that's going to be the first pick. That's basically, that has been drawn up even before that final game, to be honest with you. So Jets chose Dylan Theinman at number 2. No reason why, they just aren't likely to make a logical choice. That's fair. I was thinking that they were gonna pick me at number 2, and I would have to kind of tell them no. I'm gonna be pulling a a Peyton Manning or an Eli Manning. I'll be like, no, you're gonna have to trade me, man. Can't do it. The best player is Gary Smith. Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, in the draft? Yeah, I don't know. Beautiful. C Strong! I'm still sick. How you doing, dude? Let's go, baby. C-Strum, how you doing, my man? I don't wish the Jets on you. I know, man. I don't think the contract will be like the whole contract will be guaranteed if I was the second overall pick, but I don't know, man. I don't know if there's enough money in the world where I would, like, even for 2 seasons, if I would have to be a Jets player. Can't do it. I'd be like, I'll give you guys $20 to just leave me alone. Cowboys gonna draft a safety. I'm just saying, man, they need some secondary help. Doing good. All right, let's go. As long as they're good, I'm okay. Seastrom's like, I don't care. As long, like, they can draft a kicker if they want, but as long as he's good. Well, maybe not a kicker. That might be the only position where I don't think you would be happy if they drafted. You do have arguably the best kicker in the NFL. I am making things up. I haven't researched anything. To be quite honest with you, there's some GMs out there that research a bunch, and it doesn't seem like they did any kind of research. So I think, David, I think you could do almost no research, and I think you would probably still be like somewhere in the middle there with in terms of the best GMs in the NFL. Middle of the pack right there. You might be like, towards the back of that middle half, maybe 18th, 19th best GM picking, but we're not terrible at finding good players. The question is usually whether they're actually what we need to fix the team. Very true. Hey, you guys seem to find like very talented players. Sometimes, especially with defensive linemen, they either take a season or two to really develop, or they just kind of like, remember Tarkle Charleston? That was a rough one. But yeah, no, the Cowboys have done a pretty dang good job over the last couple seasons of like, especially defensive linemen, linebackers. You guys have really done really well with, and I think even I was gonna say wide receiver, but I'm just like thinking right now. I was like, no, they traded for that guy. They traded for that guy. That guy was signed. So I was like, maybe not receiver, but CD Lamb is really good. Me either, at least as far as the Cowboys are concerned. There we go. Things have been busy. Work school is ramping up into testing season. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So things will be very hectic the next few weeks. Hopefully it goes well for you, my man. Glad I can make the stream. Heck yeah, brother. I'm glad you're here, dude. It's been a couple weeks, man. It's been a couple weeks, but I hope you're doing well. Hopefully the testing season kind of goes as smoothly as it can. Yeah, because you guys, I mean, we're in April, so like, I don't know when you guys end school, but like typically in Wisconsin, they usually go all the way to the end of May, sometimes like a week into June for sure in Wisconsin. So for some of these kids in my area, they still got about 2 months left to go. Where are the Cowboys drafting? The Cowboys are so they actually have two picks in the first round. So they have the 12th pick, which is their pick. I have them picking tight end in Kenyon Sakid or Saik. And then they also have the Packers first round pick, thanks to the Micah trade, and that is the 20th overall pick. And I have them picking Jordan Tyson, Arizona State. Arizona State receiver there. So yeah, because I do feel like the Cowboys, they do need to work on their secondary. I should have probably, for the 12th overall pick, I probably should have given them a corner. But for some reason, the corners keep on falling, man. I don't know what's going on. The guy that I was thinking of that was actually went 22, Jermond McCoy out of Tennessee. I had him originally going to the Dallas Cowboys in like an earlier mock draft, but he keeps on falling, dude. That corner class keeps on falling, which is great for the Packers. The more corners that can be pushed into the second round, the better. So I went with a tight end because I feel like they could use some more weapons for Dak Prescott. Sony, great styles. There we go. There we go. I like it. Malachi Lemon Lime, German, the real McCoy, and Caleb Robin Banks. David. David, you beautiful, beautiful son of a gun. Caleb Robin Banks. I'm going to make a joke. Let me know if you like it. Caleb Robin Banks seems like a Chiefs player, my friend. No? Too soon? Chiefsaholic? All right. Sorry. Yep, at the end of May for us. There we go. If the corners keep falling, try adding some extra bracing on the sides. Use screws instead of nails. There you go. Secure the corners. Secure the corners. Oh, Cash is How is a good one. There you go. There you go. Also, no tie in the first round. Interesting. I don't like. I should say this. I don't like most of the quarterbacks in this class for the first round. I think with this class, there is definitely some guys that could have some decent ceilings. I just don't see a superstar. I could be wrong. I feel like every year there's usually one guy that kind of rises above, or at least is like the crown jewel of the quarterback class. I think that's Mendoza, to be honest with you. I think if Mendoza flames out, I don't think there's going to be a guy that of this class that's going to be remembered as a great quarterback. But to me, there isn't a guy that I would be willing to use a first round draft pick. To me, so But yeah, I did have Ty in one of my earlier mocks. I did him. Where did he go? I'm trying to see here. I had him going 24th to the Browns before, but I feel like the Browns. I feel like the Browns have bigger issues with their team, and on top of that, I think they're still not completely. I think they're still looking at Dylan and Shadur. I don't think they're willing to just throw those guys away just quite yet. The Chiefs players don't rob banks; they're fans. And we disown him like you disown the Vikings. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's about right. From what I've heard, you're probably right to put him later. Not that he might not go early, just that he might not necessarily warrant it. Just what I've heard, for sure. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, especially with quarterbacks, if you overdraft them and if you hit, who cares? Like, that is the one position. Like, it's always great to hit on any position. After that, like a great player is a great player. But I think if you overdraft a quarterback, I think most people understand. But yeah, just to me, man, there just isn't enough upside from what I saw that would warrant a first round pick, especially for like a franchise like the Browns. You already spent two picks on quarterbacks last year. Adding another one with very similar upside is just gonna muddle the waters. Now you have three guys that you're like, well, we invested a third round pick in Dylan. Then we have Shadur, who had that one great game. And now we got Ty in here as well. It's like, who do we give a chance to? And it's too many plates. And then you still have freaking Watson on the freaking team as well. That you can't cut. So yeah, that's to me that's there aren't many teams in the back half that are like quarterback needy, like Seahawks, Patriots, Dolphins, maybe, but like I don't think they need to force themselves into tie. Chiefs are fine. They already have their franchise guy. They just need him to recover. The Texans are the only other team that I could think of. Like maybe if they don't really trust C.J. Stroud, they might try to draft a young guy. But I feel like that's a little too. It's a little bit too much of an investment to not be like if you do draft a guy in the first round. If you're the Texans, that means you're done with C.J. Stroud, and I don't think they're quite there yet. San Francisco, no. Buffalo, no. Bears, no. Eagles, no. Chargers, no. So like the only team that I could think of that would have a chance would be the Browns, and I feel like that's already a circus with all the quarterbacks that they currently have. Ty would just not. It would just be worse, so much worse. Let me see here. I'm trying to catch up here. David, Jets picking at 16. I bet they take a quarterback there just because that's something that they would do. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Also, I felt should mention you ever been to Athens, Wisconsin? No, I have not. My uncle brought back literally the best maple syrup I've ever had from a place there called Twin Tapers Sugar Bush. We do have some really good freaking maple syrup here in Wisconsin, man. Like I know Canadian maple syrup is like that's like their claim to fame, especially in like that area there. But dude, we got some good maple syrup here in Wisconsin. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, Twin Tappers. Sorry, Twin. I think I said Tapers. Twin Tappers Sugar Bush. I'm gonna like to look that up. I don't think I've ever heard of that brand. Nice. Gave us a large bottle. It's the best. Heck yeah, dude. Let's go. Twin Tapper sounds like a tap dance group. A Sugar Bush. So anyway. All right, hey man, this is a family. All right, it's a family stream. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. But Sugar Bush is a pretty cute nickname for. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Hey, Sugar Bush. Oh man. That sounds like a George Carlin joke right there. Oh my god. Anyway, where were we? Um, so yeah, so yeah, Mendoza gonna be the first pick. There's no question about that. I don't think there's anything that the Raiders could be offered that would move them off of that spot. So the next pick, I did go with Arvil Reese. I think he's probably the best linebacker in this class. I'm actually currently doing film study on him. So I don't know if you guys can read that or not. So it might be a little fuzzy. Sorry about that. But I am currently doing some film study on him to try to get a video out this week on Reese. So far, incredibly quick, man. Like one of the like fast and quick, which are very two distinct different things. Great change of direction, and has an incredible way of disengaging from blocks. I do have some cons on him. I will save that for the video. There is no such thing as a perfect prospect, but Reese is probably the best linebacker in this class right now. But yeah. Next player with the last name Bush. Nickname, it has to be Sugar Bush. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to write that one down. That's hilarious. Reggie Sugarbush. Yeah, I don't think Reggie Bush would have appreciated that nickname, though. But there's actually a pick that I think if I'm the Jets, to be quite honest with you, I know they already have 2 picks in the first round, right? Yes, they have the 16th overall, like David said. If I'm them, I trade down. Like Reese is a really good linebacker, but I don't think I think the Jets have many more holes on that defense and on offense that they need to gather as many picks as they possibly can. And when you have the second overall pick, you're still going to be able to have whoever trades up with you. You're going to get their first round pick in this round, so you'll still have the 2. And I think if you can get another second or third or multiple day 2 picks, that's only going to help you out, man. And if I'm the Jets, Reese is great. He's not a game changer in my opinion. From what I've seen, he's not a Micah Parsons. He's not that kind of player. He only has 7 career sacks. 6.5 of them came this season. So he's not a prolific pass rusher. He's a little bit of a tweener. He's an edge / linebacker off the ball guy. And I like that versatility. I just don't like that kind of player that's a tweener, like a guy that can really be good at multiple things, but just isn't incredible at one thing. Like if he was a great pass rusher, I believe you take him. Like a Will Anderson, you take him, and you hope that he can develop a little bit in coverage, add a little bit better to like a run game later on in his career, like Will Anderson has. But Reese hasn't. He's not dominant in anything really. Not an incredible run defender, not an incredible pass rusher. He's a great athlete. And I would say if you can trade back, stay in the top 10, get multiple picks for the Jets, that might be the smartest thing for them to do. Knowing the Jets, they probably won't do that. But regardless, I didn't do any trades on my mock draft, so took the best player available, and that is Reese. For the Arizona Cardinals, even though I think they have a decent running back crew, they still have James Connors, and they actually picked up Tyler Algier from Atlanta, which can make a solid 1-2 punch. Jeremiah Love is the best running back. They don't need receivers. I believe their offensive line is fine at the moment. Defensively, they could have gone with David Bailey or Sonny Styles. I just don't like those guys for that system because I believe LaFleur is going to be running something that he kind of ran, basically a similar defense that that Matt had in Green Bay with Barry. I'm trying to think of a. It was basically a little bit of a soft zone, and I don't think Bailey or Styles fit that mold. So I said, let's give him a running back. Let's give him a run game for sure. Set it and forget it. Um, but yeah, that's who I went with, Jeremiah Love. I think he's going to be really solid for the Arizona Cardinals, especially playing in the dome. He'll be fine. Next, for the Tennessee Titans, we've already seen the Titans. They're trying to rebuild that defense. They obviously traded with the Giants to get what's his name? What is his name? Sorry, I'm trying to think of his dang name now. Oh no, sorry, not the Giants, the Jets. The Jets. Um, Sorry, give me 1 second to find the name. Come on, where are you? Jermaine Johnson. They traded him to Tennessee, so obviously Tennessee is trying to build that defense. And anyway, I went with uh, defensive end there, David Bailey. I think he's going to be able to kind of, if you can get the trenches set for them, they're going to be significantly better. I believe that Tennessee defense needs more blood. They need more talent. I think the offense will be fine. I think as those young players on that Tennessee offense get get into a training program, another season, another year to get better, I believe the offense is going to naturally just get better. But that defense needs to get cheaper, younger, and with a higher ceiling. So I went with David Bailey there. For the Giants, they need offensive line help. Their offensive line has been absolutely garbage the last couple seasons. Obviously, Jackson Dart has been he dealt with multiple concussions last year. They need to protect him if that's going to be their future. And on top of that, a lot of their offensive linemen, and I'll mention them here. So Andrew Thomas, who came in basically has been their starting tackle for the last couple of years. Last few seasons, man, massive injuries, has missed quite a bit of time. He's been good when he's healthy, but the issue is staying healthy. And then they don't really have another player on the other side that can be relied on. They have Jermaine Eliamore, who's been kind of on and off as their starter, but they need to establish a guy that they can trust at the tackle position, and then hopefully they can add some more talent, center, guards. I think their guards are actually okay. They're not incredible. They actually have a pair of former Green Bay Packers, John Runyon and Lucas Patrick, starting there. And those guys are going to be okay. They're solid players. They're just not incredible players. But yeah, they need to shore up the edges there. So I went with Francis there at tackle out of Miami to kind of help the Giants there. For the Browns, this is the only team that I was thinking that could trade up to the second overall pick if they wanted to really they wanted to get a player that they really wanted to get Reese in there, man. Having a linebacker like that on that defense, pairing him up with Myles Garrett, pairing him up with, I believe, the rookie of the year that they picked up last year, their linebacker. That could be a great freaking 1-2 tandem in Cleveland if they could pick up a guy like Reese or Styles. But once again, there was no trades in my mock draft, so I went with the best player that they could go, and I went with Sonny Styles. So not Reese, but I don't want to say a poor man's Reese because I actually like Styles more. He's the kind of linebacker that I personally like. A very aggressive, just a missile, man. Once you shoot him, he's going straight for that for that spot, man. And when he hits, oh my God, it's freaking violent. It is terrifying to see this guy, man. Reese is a little bit more timid I don't want to say timid. He's a little bit more measured when he tackles. Sonny Styles, man, he is a man possessed. He is very violent, man. He is not going to be like, if you try to get away from him, he's going to be just nonstop trying to bring you down, man. I like that kind of energy. I feel like it brings a great energy to a defense, and it gets guys fired up, especially defensively. You need that kind of tone setter, and I believe Sonny Styles is that guy. Plus, he was also the guy on that defense that was actually had the radio in his helmet. He was basically the guy that was kind of communicating from defensive line to the secondary. So that's a big responsibility, and I don't think that you get that kind of responsibility without being a great leader and a great communicator. So, Cleveland, this one's for you. Cleveland will take whichever player is on the most non-massage list. Yeah, I didn't see any massage parlors tied to Styles, so that's a good sign. It's a good sign. Styles might not even know what a masseuse is. He might just be like a messenger. What? So yeah. So I think if Cleveland can get Styles, man, I think that's a really solid pick. For the Washington Commanders, they have a lot of issues, mostly on that defense. I've said it before. I won't harp on it too much. And their defense is old, slow, and expensive. And signing or drafting Ruben Bain Jr., they're out of Miami, will make them younger, faster, and cheaper. And yeah, they're going to need, they were not great at getting to the quarterback last year. And even though Bain is not, I was going to say he's not the best pass rusher in this class, he's probably the second best pass rusher in this class, which is not a far cry from the top spot there. He's really aggressive, big as heck, massive human being, but very quick. And he's also really, really good at creating great opportunities for himself. Like, he can create his own kind of one-on-one matchups. So yeah, I like Ruben for Washington. I think he can do a really good. I think he can immediately become their number one guy at getting to the quarterback. So he's from Ohio Poop University. I don't like him. That's fair. That's fair. You know. But if it helps, he is going to the Browns. So Poop and Brown. I mean, just, you know, at least he knows what he is. Sorry, Sonny Styles. I don't think you deserve that. I'm sorry. That was very mean of me. I don't know why. But so the first corner off the board, this should come as no surprise. He's going to go to the Saints. The Saints need corner help. I think their secondary was one of the worst in the NFL. They were aggressive, but they struggled, man. They just gave up chunks, big chunks. No bigger game highlighted than the one that we saw with them, and that was the Chicago game. I mean, Caleb Williams and that receiving core just had a field day against the Saints in that one. So I have the Saints picking up the local kid out of LSU, Mansour Delaney. And we know what corners out of LSU do, man. They play well. They last in the NFL. They're playmakers. They're aggressive. They're cocky. They play with a chip on their shoulder, and that's kind of what you need in a corner, man. You need that swagger, because they're going to be getting picked on early by some quarterbacks, especially when they're a rookie, and they need to be able to kind of just get to the next play and just, be aggressive again. So, David. So I'm having them pick the kid out of their own backyard there. I wish more teams did that, to be quite honest with you. That's actually what I wish the Packers would have done when they picked up Lucas Van Ness. I wish they would have gone with the player that the Jets actually picked in that same draft when they flipped first-round picks. That was Will McDonald. Will McDonald for the Jets Born and raised in Wisconsin, went to high school in Wisconsin as well, and the Packers had a great opportunity to pick him up in that draft, and they didn't. So anyway, for the Chiefs, picking at 9, which they haven't done in a long time, long time. They are actually going to be going into that secondary. They're going to be picking up Caleb Downs out of the University Poop, Ohio State. But yeah, man. I know, David. I know. But Caleb Downs is a great freaking safety, man. And he's a guy that you can put him basically anywhere in that secondary. Maybe you don't want to keep him outside corner for sure, but he can play safety, either safeties. They're probably going to be putting him at free safety, where he can kind of roam a little bit. But he can play strong safety. He can play in the box. He can come down. He's a willing tackler. And on top of that, I think you could even put him in the slot, man. He's a versatile guy. And if we know anything about the Chiefs, they love versatility at that position, man. They love that type of player that they can kind of plug him anywhere. And Spags, I guarantee you, is going to be dialing up some blitzes with Caleb Downs. I would not be surprised if Caleb comes away this season with at least 2 sacks, or at least 2 really good opportunities at sacks here, man. Yeah, Spags, if he gets a hold of this guy, man, he's going to be really fun to watch. It's going to be annoying because he's going to be really good for them, but yeah. So I'm giving the Chiefs some secondary help. So, well, we'll see what happens. Fair enough. And then finally, the last player that I want to talk about is Monroe Freeling, the tackle out of Georgia. I like Freeling. He's a guy that those Georgia Bulldogs, especially their offensive linemen, I feel like they've been underrated the last couple of years. When you talk about Georgia, everybody thinks about the defense, which is fair. They've had a historically great defense for about 5 years now. Last year, maybe not as much, but still really dang good. Monroe Freeling was by far one of the best offensive linemen coming out of the SEC. I believe, we know the Bengals need help along with that offensive line, but with Freeling, if he does not work at tackle, and this is coming from a Packer fan, kick him inside at guard. And if he doesn't work at tackle somehow, he's going to be a damn good guard, man. And either way, if you can get a starting offensive lineman and a really good one at any of those positions, tackle, left or right, and then guard, left or right, that's an improvement. So I say if you're the Bengals, you need as much help along the offensive line as you need. Get a guy with a great upside that can play either tackle or guard and just see where he fits best. So simple as that. I swear I've heard of Kenyon Sadiq. Yeah, man. Kenyon he's a guy that's been rising up over the last couple, I would say, trying to think, today, April. So I would say I started to notice that he was kind of rising up towards the beginning of last month. Because I remember I saw him towards the bottom of the first round, maybe even into that second round. And that's probably where he could go still. But he's been rising up a little bit. I think I overdrafted him, to be quite honest with you. I think he's going to be somewhere in the middle to later part of this first round. But I did like him for where he was for the Cowboys. Go Monroe. Bengals need help. Yes, they do. 100%. Bengals only need help with counting to be subpar. Ouch. Those dang Bengals. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm trying to be smarter for the Bengals, because if I'm I guarantee the Bengals, I would not be surprised if they try to somehow take they might draft Sadiq. That to be a bad idea, but they'll be like, yeah, we need a tight end. Let's draft one at number 10, even though we need help along the offensive line. So yeah, some other players that I do want to talk about. Um, Malachi Lemon. I have the Jets picking him. This was I don't know if they'll draft him now because of all the trades and things like that, but I still picked him because I do like what he brings as a receiver. Plus, you really want to be able to give help to Garrett Wilson, man. He needs somebody next to him that can take some of that defensive attention away. And Lemon is a player that can do that. I'm not a huge fan of SEC receivers. They tend not to do incredible, or at least they have a higher chance of busting in the NFL. Not busting, being bust. We don't want to be talking about busting in the NFL. That has changed over the last couple seasons. I feel like I'm maybe a little bit biased because like during the 2010s they were just absolutely terrible, man. But it is what it is. I feel like I know less than ever about football because last year was just nuts. Didn't see it coming. Yeah, and it's been weird, man. It's the I think with I think this has to do with a little bit more with the the NIL deals, COVID, and just some players staying in college a little bit longer than we're used to. I think teams have kind of strayed away from trying to fit themselves to the player instead they're trying to find what player best fits them for where they are, if that makes sense. You're not gonna I don't see how I don't think we're gonna see a lot of teams really trading up as often as we used to in the past. Like the last couple of years, it seems like teams are more willing to trade down, but when they're willing to trade up, it's usually for a quarterback, typically, especially in the first round. So, but yeah, I think COVID, I think the NIL deals have really changed how teams are evaluating some of these players, and I think I mean, skill wise, athleticism is still probably the biggest indicator of what they're going to be. But I do believe that personality, I think those in person interviews are playing a bigger role than we're used to. And I think when you get some of these guys that like before when they were not making any kind of money, or at least not money that was known, some of these guys were still making some decent cash under the table. But when you're talking to a guy that's already made 3 to 4 million over the last couple seasons, that does change their personality. That does change their willingness to kind of humble themselves to even present themselves, or at least how they present themselves. So I think we're starting to see that a little bit more in the last couple of years with some of these players getting I don't want to say rich, but making some really decent cash. So, but yeah. Try opening your eyes this season, stay strong. Fair enough. That's how I'm gonna stream the NFL draft. I'm just gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, dude, can you believe they picked him? Oh my god, I had this guy. I had this guy picked in the third round. Unbelievable overdrafting. All right, Captain. Brother Bills has DJ Moore as a free agent. Yeah, man. Big trade for the Buffalo Bills. Big trade. In the words of Pepper Brooks from one of my favorite movies, Dodgeball. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. Any Dodgeball fans? No? But yeah, so Malachi Lemon is a player that I think the Jets could use some more weapons for whoever is the quarterback there. It might be Geno Smith. He might just be a backup. Who knows? Um, what was another player that Jermond. David? What'd you call Jermond? What was his nickname here? Sorry, I'm looking. Oh, there we go. Jermond the Real McCoy. There we go. The real. So yeah, he's actually a player that I do like quite a bit. Um, I was hoping that when the Packers had a first round pick, he would be a guy that they might have a chance. They could have had a chance actually if they would have kept their pick. But you know what? I'll take what we got for him. But yeah, Jermon McCoy, really good player, man. Um, I had more of a breakdown for him last week. Let me see here. Do I still have the notes? Don't think I do. I'll have to look for them later. But I'm going to be making a video of a breakdown for him anyway. But yeah, man, incredibly fast and crazy athletic, long as heck. He might be what the Packers are kind of going towards now. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", from what I remember. But yeah, just a really dang good corner, man. High upside, and he's relatively young. Doesn't turn 21 until mid-August. So, oh, actually, sorry, no, 6'1", listed as 6'1", 188. So a little bit lanky, but yeah, plays a lot taller, man. Holy crap! Maybe because he's a little skinnier, but yeah, I could have sworn he was a little bit bigger than that, but all right. So yeah, McCoy, and then what was the other player? There's one more guy that I was trying to talk about. Caleb Banks. Oh no, Peter Woods, the defensive lineman for Clemson. He was a guy that I'm hoping kind of falls to the Packers because I think if he falls into that like 7th to 10th pick in the second round, I could see the Packers wanting to trade up a little bit to pick him because he's a big dude, man. Big human being. Yeah, what is he listed as? So he doesn't turn. He just turned 21 last month. He is 6'2", nearly 300 pounds, man. So he's a guy that they could kick him inside, play a little bit of nose tackle for a bit, or they can keep him outside and kind of be a traditional 3-2 defensive lineman. They have him listed as a defensive tackle. I think he's athletic enough to that you can kind of kick him out and be like a defensive end. Just because of his size, he can play the run. He can and he still has enough wiggle and burst to be able to be a factor to get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. So should change his name to Peter Forrest. Forrest Forrest. Hmm. Peter the Redwood Forest. The Redwood Woods. The Redwood. There you go. Peter Redwoods. There you go. Big ass tree. Big ass tree, man. And typically with defensive linemen, they typically add a few pounds. I don't think he needs to get bigger, to be quite honest with you. I think where he's listed at 298. I think that you can keep him there, and I think he would be just as dominant as he was in college. Yeah, a freaking wingspan of nearly 6'5", man. 8.8 broad jump, vertical leap 29, and then the three cone drill 7.7 seconds, man. David, nice, nice. So yeah, but I have him going to, unfortunately, the Seattle Seahawks because that would be a great player for them to pick up that late in the first round. It would be annoying as heck, to be quite honest with you, if the Seahawks did pick him up at 32, because that is incredible freaking value for a player like that. And of course, if he ends up getting drafted by them at that position or at that spot, he's going to be a great player. Yeah, his numbers, like he's got solid numbers, man. Only had 5 sacks in his career, but he had 14 and a half tackles for a loss. Just a really dang good player, man. Over 80 tackles in his career at Clemson. Just consistently played. And also was healthy. Was healthy. Uh, 2011 was the only season where he did not play 12 games. And yeah, man, the kid out of Alabama. They're built different over there, man. Especially the big boys. So yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Is there any other players that I can think of? For the Cowboys, I went with a receiver, Jordan Tyson. I trying to think here. With the trade for Rashawn Gary, with the trades that they have like clearly are trying to open up some space at the linebacker position. I think they're going to be hitting that defense hard later on, but I believe early they're going to want to attack. If they do go defense in the first round, it's going to be in the secondary. I don't think they're going to be using too many first round picks at linebacker or defensive line. So it's either going to be a heavy offensive draft, mostly weapon wise in the first round, or they're going to hit the secondary hard to try to rebuild that. So, Captain David, did you hear the Bills want primetime games for new Highmark Stadium? There we go. Tell the Bills to get in line or get better. David, that's hilarious. I love it. I love it. But yeah, man. So yeah, if you guys are here next Friday, man, please tune in because I will be doing a live mock draft that I'll be going with you guys. So like my plan is if we can get like 2 or 3 people in here, it can be a consensus. I'll put out a post. I'll be doing a couple picks myself, and then I'll kind of have you guys pick one every couple, or it could be every other one or every couple, whatever you guys want to do. So that way we can kind of create our own personal mock draft, and we'll kind of talk about it. We'll break it down. We'll break it down. So yeah, so that's my plan for the next stream this coming Friday. So let me see here. Let me make sure I'm not leaving without missing any news. I don't think so, man. Let me see here. All right, so today is the 6th. So the draft, the first day of the draft, it'll be in the evening. It'll be just the first round. The Packers do not have a pick in that first round. That'll be on Thursday. So we are 2 weeks, and so we're about 17 days away. So less than 3 weeks away from the draft, man. That's wild, man. It's so freaking fast. And that we will be live. I'll be live for all 3 days of the NFL draft. I'll be here for the first round on Thursday. I'll be live for the second and third rounds on the 24th, and I'll be live for round 4 through 7 on Saturday, and we'll talk about all the picks or as many as we can get to. I know, especially once you get past the 4th and 5th rounds, they start kind of going at a clip. I may not have an opinion on all of them, but I will try to at least talk about them or at least say them, and I'll be like, oh, it's a linebacker, and this is what he did last year. I'll try to at least do that for those late round picks that kind of fly by really quickly. And or at the very least, we'll let a couple run through, and then we'll kind of do them in batches. So, but yeah, but obviously we'll also break down every single Packer pick. They don't have a first round pick, but they do have multiple picks in the 7th round, so they'll still have, I think, 7 or 8 picks in the upcoming draft, barring any trades. So yeah, man. So we'll be live Friday, the 10th, and then like I said, leading up to the draft, I'll be trying to do. We're gonna be doing a live stream on Monday and Friday, leading up to the drafts. So yeah, we'll be doing 2 this week, 2 next week. We'll do one on the 20th, and then we'll be starting live on Thursday for the NFL draft, man. So hopefully you'll join me. I'm gonna try to from now on, from today until the draft, I'm gonna try to see if I can actually create a little bit of a ticker on the bottom there that I can kind of add, and so that way you guys can kind of look at see who's been drafted the last couple picks. So yeah, we're gonna be doing it, man. This is gonna be the first draft I will be doing on the channel, and we'll see, man. There's probably gonna be some hiccups or some stuff like that, but just like anything else, it'll get better the more I do it. So yeah. Seastrom sounds great. Skip the Ohio poop players getting picked past the first round. Well, how about if the Chiefs pick one, dude? How about if the Chiefs pick a Ohio State player, man? Just saying. It could happen. It could happen. Yeah, I'm trying to see here. Just put a football on the helmet and the stream will do great. Dang it. I should have done that from the beginning. I'm going to put it right where the mouthpiece is, right there. You can put it on the cheese head, or like David said, put it right on where the helmet is. All right. All right, guys. I think that is it for me today, man. My voice is starting to kind of get a little tired. I haven't done this in like about a week, and I'm still recovering a little bit, but I should be getting better. So next time you see me, I'll be doing great. I'll be doing great. Yeah. Today was this stream was sponsored by Phlegm. Phlegm and mucus, man. Nothing makes you appreciate breathing like phlegm when it's gone. And I am still trying to recover. So hopefully it wasn't too noticeable. Hopefully. But yeah, man. Yeah, we had Eben, we had David. Seastrom was able to pop in here, man. Of course, we had Captain Mickey Mouse, of course, in here, popping in here, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for always making time for the channel, for myself, and it's always great to talk to you guys, man. Hopefully your spring is going well. Hopefully, Seastrom, hopefully once again the testing is a little bit smooth. Hopefully it goes a little bit better, man. And David, always appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna be it for me today, man. I'll see you guys on Friday, where we're gonna be doing a live mock draft that I hope you guys get a chance to participate in, and we're gonna go from there, man. We're gonna be keeping it going. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Tomorrow, the next 2 days I work in my other job, but hopefully when I get off of there, I'm gonna start recording some of these player profiles for the draft. I'm gonna try to get as many as I can out. Yeah, we're gonna keep on going, man. There's gonna be some guys from the first round I'm gonna try to do, and then I'm gonna try to really hit some of players that I think the Packers could draft throughout the first couple of rounds. So we'll go from there. So look out for those over the coming weeks. And I am still currently working on It's not a film room. Those are unfortunately taking, as of course, longer than it should. But between work and some of this other stuff and getting sick, those have continued to get pushed back. So um, I'm hoping to get a couple episodes out before the draft, but who knows? They might have to wait until after the draft. So I'm sorry for those of you guys that are waiting for those. I'm so sorry, but I promise you, those are still coming. They're just taking longer than they should. So, but yeah. All right, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Shout out to David. Shout out to Seastrom. Seastrom, glad to hear. See you next one. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, guys. I'll catch you guys on Friday. Have a great one. And once again, my name is Dave, and hopefully no longer sick. I am not a coach.